The tension was palpable with that. The tension was palpable. Who had it down for overflowing? Who? Go on, you be honest. Who had it down for overflowing? You see, we know what we're doing here. It's coffee time, which means it's time for Inside the Video Store. Filmon knows. Thank you for joining me. Thank you for Jake, who's here again, thankfully, to traipse around the store on his day off. The man is made of steel. What can I say? Welcome to my lair. I'm going to grab this. We're going to go up front. We've got a lot to get through today. We've got loads of new arrivals. I mean, loads and loads and loads of new arrivals, which we're going to breeze through easily. Some new releases, got some on loans, but most of all, we're going to take a look at the new layout and kind of how it all beds in and works in together and what it means and the reasons behind doing it. And then, of course, I want your opinions on what you think. Does it work for you? Let me know. But as for now, I'm going to enjoy this coffee and we're going to go out into the closet to see, to have a look at some new films. Let's see what's coming. So welcome to my lair. This is my little closet. I like being in the closet. No puns intended. Thank you. Now, this is a lot of people say to me, "But Dave, you don't have all the films out, do you? You know that you got like 10,000 in the back. You know that isn't everything." And that is everything on the shop floor, but we have a select group of films kind of down here that I just can't fit out. It's quite an obvious kind of array of movies on Jake's right-hand side, your right-hand side there. You've got kind of B movies, you know, stuff from the 90s, The Invisible Kid, for example, and some Jack Reed movies with Brian Dennehy, stuff that that's not the end of the world if it's not out here. And then here we've got the horror section extended. I'm just a horror nerd, and I can't bear to get rid of anything horror related. So whenever I get a horror film that doesn't quite deserve a place in the creme de la creme of the horror section, it goes in the back here. But at least I've still then got a copy, which is important. Now, previously, below where I am, I had storage. So it was stuff like the indie section overflow, the LGBT overflow, the world cinema overflow. But now, because of the new space we've got, all of that stuff is out on the shop floor, which is really, really important. And it means that instead of having stacks and stacks and stacks on the counter, I can store things here until I'm ready to put them out on the shop floor. It's been a busy week. We're going to have a look at what's in the box first. And there's a few bits. There's some really, really exciting bits that I'm just thrilled about. This is the first one, and I know Jake is going to lose his mind over this. It's the George Peppard collection from Imprint. I mean, wow. Honestly, I've hammered this over the weekend, and it's so cool. What have we got in here? We've got The Executioner, which was great fun. Newman's Law, which I really did like, which is kind of it's a TV movie essentially, but it works well as a main feature. And also two films that I had anyway in the European import section, which is PJ and also Pendulum. But I think I can get rid of those two from the European, and just the extras in this set are great. You know, things got great interview with Jeff Burr, the late great Jeff Burr, about the director Richard T. Heffron. You got audio commentaries by Steve Mitchell. You got an interview with C. Courtney Joyner, the legendary Full Moon screenwriter. So yeah, I'm really thrilled about that. So we are all Pepparded up now at Snips, which is great. And there's more. The Blue Max is in. Some more Peppard, directed by John Guillermin, who of course Peppard did 3 films with back to back, I do believe, 67, 68, and the Blue Max. So that's pretty cool. Customer request, we have The Secret of My Success of Michael J. Fox. Didn't have that, customer asked for it, so we got it in. Got Lost in Space, another customer request. I did not pay that price, and that's what Blockbuster were retailing it for. I can't imagine why they went bust. Like I said to you last week, I'm catching up on some Masters of Cinema releases that haven't come in, that haven't, they've kind of been missed out on in the past. So filling in some blanks. Got The Indian Tomb there, Mothra, the classic Japanese film, Kirk Douglas and Champion, and also Running Out of Time 1 and 2, the legendary Johnny Toe films, which I can't wait to see. So that's pretty cool. We've got one for Jake here, the Quilla Memorandum, which is very cool indeed. Jake was very kind enough to detail all the films mentioned on Quentin Tarantino's Video Archives podcast. And lo and behold, it was 60% that we actually did have, which is nuts. I didn't think we'd have that much. So I wanted to fill in a few blanks from that. And Quilla Memorandum was one of them. Finally, in from our video, we have Rampo Noir. It goes back to 2005. I think this is it's a compendium of short films. So looking forward to that. And also The Big Sleep, which is another one from the Video Archive podcast, which is a Michael Winner film. And Michael Winner deserves some love. I mean, come on, where's Parting Shots on Blu-ray? God damn it. And don't answer that. Finally, just to quickly whip through these, I've been hammering the Vintage Classics collection. I love this collection of films. They are brilliant. Like I said, I've got most of them, but I just wanted to get these, like The Small World of Sammy Lee, Sparrows Can't Sing, with Barbara Windsor, no less. The awesome and quite chilling film, Queen of Spades. The Truth About Women with Lawrence Harvey. Richard Burton in the phenomenal Villain. We have Frida with Glynis Johns. We have The Go-Between with Julie Christie. Gift Horse with Trevor Howard. Restless Natives, which is a really cool little Scottish film if you've not seen it. Cradle of Beloved Country with Sidney Poitier. I Was Monty's Double, which I actually got asked for the other day, which is pretty cool. The Servant with Dirk Bogarde, mega film directed by Joseph Alosi. And finally, Women of Twilight. So that fills out the Vintage Classics collection, which is really important to me. So yeah, so it's nice to have that little bit of space here. There's still some other bits lurking, like there's some erotica, there's some Bruce Willis action movies, which probably no one will ever want to rent. And yeah, but generally speaking, a bit more space so we can free up the desk for desk duties instead of clutter. Anyway, let's have a look at the brand new releases to see what came in this week. And there's some really cool stuff, to be honest. But again, we still haven't begun with the contemporary releases. We're still kind of stuttering away, but this week is a little bit better. We have the new Venom movie with Tom Hardy. Venom 3, is that? I wouldn't know. I've not seen any for my sins. Now this, I posted this on Facebook and Instagram a few days ago, and it's got quite a number of comments about it, saying how people are really looking forward to watching this. And people who have seen it and say that, you know, Cillian Murphy gives an absolutely phenomenal performance. So intrigued about this. It looks like an Irish set tale about the negative, well, the evil doings that the church inevitably get up to from time to time. Frank Grillo is in Werewolves. I saw about this morning. It's a nice little B movie, to be honest. It's well made. It's directed by Stephen C. Miller, who has a nice pedigree among B movies. So yeah, that's not bad at all. Greatest Days is one for everyone, quite frankly. It, of course, is the Take That musical. Yes, I have seen this, and I thought it was all right, you know, under duress. Into the Deep is a shark film with Richard Dreyfuss. I think this is his first shark film since the shark film, maybe. So it's only taken him 50 years. This hasn't got great reviews, but hey, it's a shark movie, and if people are going to watch shark movies, they will watch shark movies regardless of what any critic has to say. God damn it. Hawk the Slayer Certainly seems to have conjured up a few people's nostalgia since I posted that this was coming in. Never seen it, don't know anything about it. Yeah, Jack Palance, can't go wrong with that. And finally, look at that, bit of Jimmy Stewart, Winchester 73, directed by Anthony Mann, and is, as usual, on Criterion with the dual format of Blu-ray and 4K UHD. I'm trying to do that with pretty much every Criterion that comes in. It's really important to do that. One, it gives me two shots, so I can pretty much have two copies out at any one time. So financially, it kind of works a bit better for me. And also, it just makes sense for an extra £6 or £7, you know, to have that other option of making a dual format. It just seems to work. So yeah, that is what's come in the new release. Oh, a couple of postal items, postal deliveries today that I must tell you about. We have a David Hemmings film, which sounds really interesting. This is on Warner Archive. It's directed by Eric Till, and it's kind of a psychological thriller with David Hemmings, who befriends a young lady, and thus, you know, danger comes to the fore, and their relationship turns quite sour. So it looks quite interesting, that. And finally, in the new arrivals, I don't know if you're ready for this. I don't know if you're ready for this. This, my friends, I need to have a sip of coffee just to calm the nerves, is one of the greatest erotic thrillers of all time. No question. And it's here. It will never, I may be wrong, it will never come to anything beyond VHS, sadly. It will never come to Blu-ray. I wish it would, because it's a masterpiece. It is. Body Chemistry 2, Voice of a Stranger. Stop grinning, Jay. I mean it. It's an iconic film directed by the legendary Adam Simon, starring, of course, Lisa Pessier. Lisa Pessier was a great actress. She was wonderful. Now, I would recommend watching this. It's written by Jackson Barr, who, of course, wrote a million Full Moon films. His real name is Jack Canson. If you're going to watch this at all, I would watch it for Morton Downey Jr. He is stunning in this film, scene-chewing performance to the max. So yeah, really thrilled to get Body Chemistry 2 in, Voice of a Stranger. It is the bee's knees of erotic thrillers. It's falling apart. Right, so that's the post. Now, let's have a look at what's changed, because this is important. And you can tell me what you all think. Let's start down here. Well, let's just start over here. I showed you a bit of this last week. This was the space for all the imports that we did. But now it's Full Moon. And it's great to see Full Moon. It was the first thing that Jake said when he walked in. That Full Moon section looks great. It's not in any order at the moment, aside from collections of franchises. You've got Evil Bong there, Subspecies, Baby Oopsie, Ginger Dead Man, Trances, etc. So collections are bundled together. But I thought, well, should I alphabetize it? No, I won't. I like the chaos of it, in all honesty. But, we have order as well with the facings and with the numbers per shelf, which is really important. But it's great. It's kind of, I don't like nostalgia, as you all know. But when you walk in and you're waiting to pay, so when you're waiting to pay here, you're standing where you are there, where Jake is holding the camera, and you're looking here, and to be looking at this here, this is the epitome of the video store era, really, isn't it? This is the epitome of the video store. Those titles, those lurid sleeves like Sorority Babes and the Slime Ball, Ballorama, Puppet Master, obviously, Ginger Dead Man, and Sideshow from Fred Olen Ray. It's just great, and I've had so many more people looking at these movies. And like I say, Full Moon for me has always been a massive passion. So it's indulgent, but it's nice to give this room to breathe and just elevate it to a position whereby people can see it a little bit more easier. So Full Moon was down here on this shelf and this shelf here. So what I've done is dropped World Cinema one shelf. I said to you last week, World Cinema has been static for pretty much 15 years, and it's been gradually heaving and heaving and heaving with the weight of stuff coming in. So by dropping it that one shelf there, by dropping out that one shelf there, it means that I've now got space for things like 88 Films Japaniki range, 88 Films Roman Porno range, Radiance's Italian, Japanese movies, Radiance's Italian movies, Raro Videos Italian movies, which has come out via Radiance. Now down here you'll see a big blank space. Now this is for something I'm really quite excited about. This was a range that was launched, I think it was last year. I know The Door was the first title, and it is of course Third Window's Directors Company. There's a story behind Directors Company. I can't remember what it is, but Google it, it's interesting. So I'm really looking forward to getting this range in. There's 4 out on the market already, which are these 4. We have The Guard from Underground, which I saw last night, which was fantastic. It is, of course, a film by Kiyoshi Kurosawa, who you'll know from Cure, from Pulse, from Creepy, all films I've got in here. We have The Crazy Family, we have Luminous Women, and we have Love Hotel as well. So they'll fit nicely there. And then there's 3 to be released in 2 weeks' time, which I really can't wait for. And then that'll be the entire Directors Company to date. So that's really cool. As you can see, been collecting Third Window for a number of years. They're a really good company, one-man band, of course, Adam Terrell. And it's nice to support a little indie label like that who put their heart and soul into so many really cool and iconic Japanese movies. So yeah, that is the World Cinema section as it is now. Obviously, it's organized by country. We have Slovenia, South Africa, Serbia, Mexico, Lithuania, and we go up, and we go up, and we go up right to the top, where we have stuff like Francois Truffaut, Jean-Pierre Jeunet, Luc Besson, Jean-Pierre Melville, Jacques Tati, and also at the top shelf we have all the A's and the B's, Belgium, Brazil, Bulgaria, Canada, Chile. Always looking for new stuff, but kind of aware of the fact that we can't have everything. But now at least it's a better space, better organized, and there's some potential to store more films, which is what's really, really important. Right, well, let's get down to the main drag, Jake, and have a look down there and see what's what. Shall I lead the way? I best take my notes because I'm going to screw up, I think. So, main drag, as I explained 2 weeks ago, it's a situation whereby you walk into the shop, left-hand side, new releases, nice and sexy, right-hand side, director's section, nice and sexy. But of course, we had on those top 3, 4 shelves, we had a situation whereby it was all the mainstream stuff that didn't really fly. So we've changed it. So top 4 shelves now we have divided up into 30 separate sections, almost all, little boutique Blu-ray labels, aside from generic American imports and generic European imports. Oh, Great Waldo Pepper came in. Aside from that, so we've got things like AGFA. We have Cinematograph, to go say Video, Mondo Macabro, Blue Underground, the immense Film Masters got their new one coming in about 2 weeks' time. Monster from the Ocean Floor, I think it is. And yeah, we got all the little indie labels. TerraVision making their debut here for the first time, which is really exciting. Imprint making their debut here for the first time. Watch Spanning, amazing. It is as good as they say. And yeah, just a tiny, I mean, Saturn's Core, they're doing such wonderful, wonderful work. As are Tempeh, which both Jake and I love dearly. Their side effects may vary out on loan, which is nice to see. But it's cool, and it's funny how just that tweak of moving these films to a more obvious place has been so cool. I mean, look at that. You got Iced out on loan. Side Effects May Vary out on loan. The Convent out on loan. I mean, these are good, hearty numbers. Smoke and Blue in the Face went out on loan to our good friend Dan over the weekend, who lives down south. But he was visiting his daughter in Ellesmere Port. That's great. He's going to post them back next week. So yeah, it's just really exciting to be able to showcase these films. I mean, this is why this shop exists in 2025, to give people the opportunity to see films like this, like Hollywood 90028, that they wouldn't be able to see on any other means. These films aren't streaming. You're not going to get Bart LaRue's Satan War streaming on Netflix, are you? You know, you're not going to get the uncut version of the New York Ripper or Don Dohler's Fiend. So it's to ensure that these films finally get some oxygen and get rented, get taken to people's homes, and people can be inspired by these movies, that there's something other than Liam Neeson movies out there, you know. Anyway, I'm really happy with it. I think it's great. I think it's really exciting. And the overall feedback so far has been pretty good from customers. They're really thrilled. And they're spotting things that they've never seen before, which is the main thing, a little section over here just for MGM limited edition and Columbia TriStar limited edition, which are kind of Warner Archive stuff, but different studios, and they're not as prolific. And one for Jake as well. Copy of Hennessy. Now, while we mention Warner Archive, let's just flip a minute. Now, Warner Archive wasn't a full drop previously. It was only 5 shelves. We had BFI Flipside here. We had Studio Canal Vintage Classics here. We had MGM MOD on the bottom shelf. Now it's given me the ability to drop Warner Archive, the full 8 shelves, which again makes it future-proof, gives me 2 or 3 years in that space without having to panic about over-subscription, overfilling it. So I've integrated the 60 or so Warner Archive releases that came in January, which is awesome. I've also taken the very controversial decision of integrating DVD and Blu-ray together. I know people don't like them together. I know people say, you know, people pretend that DVD never existed. Unfortunately, it did exist. It's a great format and we should love it dearly. Don't dispense your DVDs. Keep them. There's some good stuff, no doubt, that will never, ever see the light of day on Blu-ray. So don't bin your DVDs. They're wonderful. I love them. You know, Hot to Trot is never going to come out on Blu-ray. And sometimes you need to preserve Bobcat Goldthwait with a horse. So yeah, really excited. So got some really cool new bits integrated in there that are in for the very first time. And just that full drop of Warner Archive is just everything that I wanted to achieve with having the Warner Archives section here. Already got a new load of Warner Archives coming across in the next 2 weeks, including our first 2 TV series that we're stocking from Warner Archive, which is a bit of a departure. I'm not sure if they'll rent, but I have Roger Moore in The Alaskans and also a man called Shenandoah as well, which are both complete TV series. And I'll be interested to see if they rent. They might not, but they're worth having in because they're interesting. Okie dokie. Let's go and have a look, see what this window looks like. Well, I think it looks all right. So as I said, here is pretty much everything that was over there. So where those 3 shelves are, 4 shelves of boutique releases, I have these kind of assembled here. You will see that they're tucked right in the corner. That's not very browsable. I don't really care because the fact is they're unlikely to rent out whatever's stuffed in that corner, be it 40 or so titles. If they do want them, that's fine. They're easy to dig out. It also gave me the opportunity to extend the LGBT section, which is really important. And one of the things I like the most about this is the fact that when you leave the store through the door, the last thing you see is the pride flag, which is really important, which proves to people that this place is for everybody. It's an inclusive environment where everybody is welcome, because we are, whether we like it or not, entering an era, a world of a scary world where, you know, we're becoming a bit of a xenophobic society, where we don't embrace different cultures the way we used to. So it's important to send that message to people who come here that this is a safe space. This is a place where everybody is welcome, where we'll embrace all different cultures, creeds, religions, and sexuality. It's so important to have that. It's certainly one of my pivotal kind of business practices. So yeah, that's where we are there. It looks all right, to be honest. Now, what that has meant by switching the LGBT movies over there, it's given me an extra shelf on the indie section. As you know, the indie section is here, runs A to Z. One of my favorite sections, like I said to you months ago, I could run my finger along any of these shelves and pick out an awesome movie, because I think every one of these films, Not Looking, Journeyman, what a film, Paddy Considine, absolutely fantastic. Not Looking, Last Exit to Brooklyn. I mean, come on, that is a classic. So yeah, indie section filled bursting with gems. And just by dropping that one shelf, it means I could show a few more titles face on. And again, it gives me the opportunity to put out the titles that were in the closet, and gives me the space to not be worried about, you know, maxing this section out too quickly. Similarly, with creating so much space for the indie boutique labels on the other side, it means I could take some bits off here, and that means that the criterion section now stretches a little bit further to here. Written on the Wind is the last one, alphabetical order. And Indicator now can drop down another shelf, so the box set section for Indicator is a little bit less crowded. Because it looked great, but you can't beat staring at that lovingly curated artwork that John and Sam have commissioned for their box sets, which is amazing. And it's so cool to look at it. And hopefully I'll get more people into box sets. I know I did a post at the weekend, which you might have read, just to say, you know, don't be scared of box sets. You're welcome to rent whatever. Box sets are there to cherry pick. You know, pick a Norman J. Warren film, pick a Bud Boddicker film, pick a Mae West. You don't have to take the whole box set. In fact, you won't be allowed to take the whole box set. So just pick a couple, mix and match. It's like the pick and mix of the cinema, you know, just a few red lips and a few fizzy jellies. That's what we want. Right, anyway, time, Jake?
29.
29. Okay, well, cool. Right on time, as Black Box used to say. It's one for all you 90s pop kids out there. That was a bit partridge. On loan is a number of things. First up, stay there, is something that I've been dying to do for probably 20 years. First title on loan this week. Ooh, Navy SEALs. Okay, now that's out the way. Sorry, that's the first time it's rented in like 15 years, so I had to take that opportunity. No, this is an amazing film. I'm so thrilled it's been renting out. It's just come back in and someone's rented it again this week. It's one of Al Pacino's best films. It's Looking for Richard. Amazing piece of work. Brilliantly candid Al Pacino. Shakespeare, obviously. But it's just really cool. Kevin Spacey's in it, you know, that's life. But it's a great piece of work, really fascinating. And certainly if you're an Al Pacino fan, you should check it out sometime. It's really cool. So yeah, really happy to see that going out. Criterion It's really nice to see Mikey and Nikki going out again. You know, Peter Falk, John Cassavetes, I explained last time how Elaine May, now Dan did say what the Elaine May film that's not out was. Typically, I've forgotten it already. But yeah, Mikey and Nikki renting like hotcakes, which is very, very cool indeed. Jojo Dancer, not yet rented out, but that's all right. Everything has time here. Now, again, I sound like a broken record. But if we drop down to the penultimate shelf here, Gregoraki is out again. Doom Generation, another rabid young couple rented that. And again, I'm going to do a little Gregoraki thing whereby, you know, scandalous that the Criterion UK haven't put that out on Blu-ray yet. So hurry up, lads, will you? Hurry up. But yeah, someone did actually comment about Gregoraki, but I'll read that out later when we get to the counter. Now, this is a weird one. This is a weird one. Look at this. Dracula Dead and Loving It. Producers. To be or not to be. It's a Mel Brooks springtime for Hitler. That's great, isn't it? 3 Mel Brooks films out at once, which is great to see. So yeah, I'm thrilled about that. That's amazing. So that's really cool. I tell you what is also cool, if a little sketchy. Island of Death rented out for the first time in a while. I mean, I do love this Nico Masterakis film, but it is pretty sick, isn't it? I remember being quite a young kid when I watched that, and, you know, with incest and bestiality, it's, yeah, not one for youngsters, but a fascinating film nonetheless. And very cool indeed to see this renting out, The Exterminator. James Glickenhaus's film. Funny enough, Danny, who came in, thought it might be a Bill Lustig film, but it's not. But I kind of class James Glickenhaus and Bill Lustig almost on the same page there. You know, that they're kind of similar filmmakers. I think they're both East Coast, aren't they? I think they're both East Coast. I might be wrong. But yeah, cool to see that going out. And also, finally, I'm trying to set up a little manga section to some degree, a little anime section. But I did anime about 20 years ago. It didn't really shift, but now there seems like a real desire for it. So I've got a few customers who have been recommending bits, like obviously Ghost in the Shell, Perfect Blue. Memories came in this week, which again has been very highly acclaimed. And I'm sure you know better than me how great it is. But if anyone has any good ideas for anime features that I should stock at Snips, then please let me know. Like I say, the space I have is limited, so it's not going to be a vast section like it used to be. But I'm just looking for like a core range of between 6 and 12 good anime features. So if anyone wants to comment and anyone is an expert, which you will be above me, then please let me know. That would be amazing. Let's have a brief look at the comment section before we disappear and give poor Jake's arms a rest. Lots of people we've heard from this week, but it's been a very exciting week for comments. Jonah Fish said, look at all those Puppet Master Blu-rays right in shot. There they are. How many are we up to? About 12, is it? 14? I think we're up to 14, which is very cool indeed. Lee Martin said, Hit List is such a fun movie, and it is. I watched it on YouTube a couple of years back. Would definitely like a copy for my collection. Hit List, of course, is the William Lustig film I got in last week on VHS. Never had a DVD release, and it really, really should do. CJ said, I've just watched Hit List via YouTube and thought it was gobsmacking. Fantastic cast, absolutely no fat in it whatsoever, and the direction was sensational, with a huge shout out to the car and stunt work in the final scenes. Bloody hell. Great chemistry between the leads, including a very, very, very drunk Jan Michael Vincent. In fact, Jan Michael Vincent was so drunk on the movie that Lustig actually had to film all his shots solo. I don't know what the technical term is for that, but you know, all the majority of his dialogue shots were filmed with no other actors in the frame, just in case he couldn't make it to the end of the movie, and then they could reshoot the movie with a new lead actor, but not have to reshoot too many scenes, just his dialogue scenes. But yeah, he was absolutely, poor guy. I mean, he went through the mill, didn't he? But he was pissed out of his skull, and you can tell. Anyway, cheers for the recommendation. A proper Saturday night movie. Excellent. Lee Brennan says, good to see you back on screen, Dave, even though I see you in person every week. Thank you, Lee. Poor man. You know, you really setting yourself up there, aren't you? If you come in here every week and insist on watching me as well. I mean, God, I'm on the verge of breaking your flat screen TV, such as the horror of having me ODing on me. Terry Uller says, prefer the old mic. First thing I noticed this time was how to turn the TV up. However, brilliant show again. It's good to be back to full length. Indeed. I've changed the position this week. Might be a bit better, might be a bit worse, but it's a lot easier. So if you got to turn your TV up, you got to turn the TV up. Del Bongo says, these videos always drop at the perfect time. Doing the washing up on a Friday evening is never a chore. Do you wash the dishes for 50 minutes, Del Bongo? Dave, do you have the recent 4K disc of the best Christmas movie ever made? The Thinking Man's It's a Wonderful Life. I am, of course, talking about Dark Angel, starring Dolph Lundgren, directed by Craig T. Baxley, no less. Watched every Christmas Eve in this house without fail. I can't recommend the 4K enough. It looks unreal. No, I haven't. I'll have to stick that on the list. I do like Dark Angel. It's a great, great movie. Oh yeah, Wild 6215 says, because of you, I watched Nowhere, the Gregor Araki film, which is bloody insane and hilarious. I think that's a compliment, but I don't know. Dan says, popped in today, loving the new layout, perfect for finding unknown gems. Forgot to ask, for those of us that are Region A compatible, would you ever consider renting them out? I don't know. Well, yeah, I would. Come this way, Jake, a second. I mean, these are all my Region A films. These are all, you know, we've got 4 shelves of them. You know, you got some really cool stuff. Oh yeah, sitting down, stay sitting down. You deserve it. You know, we got the Film Masters for Creature with a Blue Hand, which sadly didn't make it to Region B Blu-ray. They locked that. There's a load of Corman stuff here, like Dance with Death, for example. Blood Fist. You know, there's some Full Moon stuff, which we have campaigned to 88 to try and license, like Albert Pune's Vicious Lips, and also the immense Catacombs, which is just phenomenal from the Empire days. Larry Cohen's The Ambulance as well, which is a phenomenal film. I got on DVD, but the Blu-ray takes it to the next level. And other stuff, you know, stuff like Michael Cimino's Desperate Hours, which really does need a great UK Blu-ray. Also, the David Dakota produced Steel and Lace from Vinegar Syndrome, which sadly they locked as a Region A, as well as, you know, some cool Larry Cohen films like Perfect Strangers, which is awesome. But again, they locked it at Region A. So yeah, I would love to rent these out. You're more than welcome to rent them, by all means. I mean, maybe not Night of the Scarecrow, because it's probably my rarest disc. And we've been campaigning for this to get released for years. It's Jeff Burr's best film. It's an amazing film from 1995. Well, I think we insert a plea on every commentary we do to try and release that, but for some reason, not quite yet. But yeah, people are welcome to rent them, but it's just whether or not I should put them on the shop floor, because, you know, we're in a situation where most people don't really know what, well, no, that's an exaggeration. A lot of people don't know the difference between Blu-ray and DVD. Still, you'd be surprised. So to implement a situation whereby you're including a Region A Blu-ray, is that going to lead me to have to stress about people bringing stuff up that they can't play? Or will people just see, oh, Region A Blu-ray, I can't play those, you know, so I'll leave them alone? I don't know. I'm just worried that it may lead to confusion, and I don't want to confuse people. I hate the idea. The biggest concern for me is someone wandering over, seeing a copy of Strike Commando 2 on the shelf and going, oh, that's amazing. I've been looking at that film everywhere. And here it is. Getting really excited, coming to the counter and me saying, do you have a Region A Blu-ray player, sir? And I'm saying, no, I don't. Sorry, you can't have that. And it's a bit teasing, isn't it? So it's just that whole tease factor. I don't like that. But, you know, we'll see. We'll see. We'll have a think about that. So yeah, I think that's all the comments, isn't it? Oh yeah, just Private Lessons from Indie Phantom Sofa Cinema, saying that Private Lessons was a guilty pleasure of his that he loved seeing since it played theatrically. However, Mariam Mungo and Midge states that it's been heavily cut by the BBFC, so be interesting to see if those cuts still stand for that final cut Blu-ray. And Carl McLaughlin states that The Front Room, which was the horror film I got in last week, which was the A24 horror film, it was panned, apparently, but he really enjoyed it. He said, it looks great. It's very, very silly. It played to me as a parody of A24 horror fare, mixing in scatological humour from early noughties gross-out comedies. The Brothers Eggers ain't as good as Robert, but The Front Room is worth a watch for everyone who doesn't take themselves too seriously. So, yeah, that's pretty cool. I must check out that film. It sounds great. Finally, the freewheeling Phil says, it's really strange about I Saw the TV Glow. We're talking about the distribution for that and only being available through the A24 website. One suspects they may plan to launch their own streaming service at some point. That's a valid point. It would be an instant buy for me, but I can't justify the $50 with shipping. It is crazy, crazy money. Thankfully, I've got my US postal box, which kind of lowered the price. I could hook it up with a few other purchases as well, so it took the price down a bit. But still, it was a lot of money. But it's worth it because it's such a pivotal film, an important film. Right, I'm going to stop waffling. Jake, his hands are about to seize up with cramp for holding the camera. But thank you for watching. I hope this has been a bit more interesting than usual sit-down episodes. However, we will be going back to the sit-down episodes from here on in, from the rest of 2023. No, but thank you for watching. It's been good fun. Let me know about the layout. Let me know what you think. See if it makes sense to you. What would you do differently? Would you have any different sections that I don't have? Come on, everyone has the dream of owning a video store. So tell me what your plans would be and what you think would rent in 2025 at your local video store. I'm interested. I'd like to know. So please let me know. But that's it for now. Thank you very much for watching. Thank you for subscribing and thank you for commenting. I will see you, as always, in 7 days' time.